بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه من والاه أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Alhamdulillah, so far Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us successful in fasting the first 11 days of Ramadan, and we're approaching the middle. So I thought it will be a good opportunity to have a short stop and reflect. And I'm sure most of us are doing so on a daily basis anyway. But it's just a reminder for myself and for you, brothers and sisters, that although Ramadan, as we know it, is the month of fasting, is the month of Taraweeh, is the month of reciting Quran, is the month of extra worshipping acts to get us closer to our Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you look at it at a different angle, Ramadan is also an opportunity to reset the buttons, to change yourself, to change your life towards better. And I will highlight this because a lot of us take Ramadan for granted. A lot of us take Ramadan as a tick-boxing exercise, as a month of fasting that will come and go, and after Ramadan, as if nothing has happened, nothing has changed. And we know it because year after year, Ramadan after Ramadan comes and goes, and we don't see any difference. Certainly, if you don't see any difference in yourself, when you look at the bigger picture, you don't see any difference in the situation of Ummah. Year after year, the situation in Syria, in Iraq, in Gaza, in Somal, in Myanmar, in even Sri Lanka these days, is getting worse and worse. And there's a reason for this. If you look at Ramadan at a different angle, Rasulullah ﷺ says in authentic hadith that if Ramadan doesn't change your attitudes, doesn't change your behavior, if Ramadan doesn't make you a better person, Allah is in no need of you giving up your food and drink. You will end up just starving yourself with no reward. Wal-'iyadhu billah. So whilst we give up the halal things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed for us to eat in any other month, in any other time of year, it's an opportunity to train yourself, to change your personality, to change your attitudes and change your behavior towards yourself first, towards your immediate family members, towards your friends and family, towards your community, towards your neighbors, towards your country. Because not just Ramadan, Islam as a whole is not just a religion of one place and one time. It's not just a religion inside the masjid. It's not just a religion of between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not just about your relationship with your Creator. Yes, it is very important to do something different from what we're doing in any other time of year. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has not come with this message of Islam to just make you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and just think about your selfish self, nothing else. Islam is not just about Ramadan. Islam is not just about masjid. Islam is about life. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Ad-deenu al-mu'amala." Religion is about your day-to-day living. It's about the way you talk. It's about the way you walk. It's about the way you work. It's about the way you conduct yourself to your surroundings. It's about your relationship, not just with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but your relationship with the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with people around you, immediate surroundings, and the bigger picture, your community, your country. Because if you even read Quran, in numerous verses in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. In so many verses in Quran, when Allah mentions those who believe and then who do righteous deeds, they're linked together. You cannot separate them. The picture will not be complete if it is just about Iman. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَأَجْرٌ كَبِيرٌ. Those who believe and perform righteous deeds. And those righteous deeds are mainly to do with your relationship with people around you, with how you behave yourself. So people around us should feel the difference when we fast. You know the difference in your iman, in yourself. That's inside you. That's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People don't care about this. How you pray, how much Quran you're reciting this month, how you fast, whether you're suffering or not, whether you're enjoying it or not, that's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People around you should know the difference in the way you behave. Your immediate family, your wives, your children, your partners should know that you have changed in this month already. And if you haven't, then you need to reflect and go back to the basics. Then you're not actually doing it right. Then you haven't actually understood the purpose of fasting. So your immediate family first. Excuse me. Your immediate family should tell the difference in the way you're treating them. If you've been violent and aggressive, if your children are scared of you because of the way you talk to them, you beat them up. And it does happen in Eastern cultures. Many times we've seen so many stories. Domestic violence. Very common in Eastern and Muslim cultures, unfortunately. As an example. So here we should put a stop. And we should reflect that Ramadan fasting should change these bad habits. And if it hasn't done it, then you should question your iman, you should question your communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your commitment. That's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. Because the vast majority of Quran is about moral values, it's about moral conducts. And we know that one of the main things that attracted people to believe our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ when he first became a prophet was because he was a sadiq al-amin. Kana sadiqan aminan. He was trustworthy, he was honest. He had a good moral values, very high moral values. He was very friendly, very approachable, very smiley. And it's enough for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say and to affirm this in Quran. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. Indeed, you were of a great character, O Muhammad. And if you interpret this, if you explore this khuluq azim, it's enough for Sahaba, particularly the wife of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, saying that kana khuluquhu al-Quran. So why do we recite Quran in this month in particular, without actually affecting us? Yes, you will get a reward, inshallah, for reciting Quran. You will get a reward for every single letter you recite. Not just every single letter. Alif, Lam, Mim, that's 3 rewards. Wal hasanatu bi asri amthaliha, that's 30 rewards. No doubt about this. But will it not be better if that can be translated to your real life? Will it not be better if you take this Quran from the shelves to outside world? Shaitan cannot come and beat you here. Shaitan cannot come and interfere with this. You can stay all night recite Quran, Shaitan can never stop you. But Shaitan will stop you from taking this Quran outside. Outside Ramadan and outside this masjid. Because Quran is not just there to be left in these shelves. And that's why my personal recommendation, if you're doing khatam in this month, it's a good idea, but either do it quicker than 30 days or slower than 30 days. Don't just start from Surah Al-Baqarah and finish with Surah An-Nas on day 30. Because after that, Shaitan will tell you, yes, you've done your khatam, and leave it until next Ramadan. And we know most of us are probably going through this. You can do one khatam, that's fine. But on the background, do a slower khatam. So have a background recitation of Quran throughout the 12 months. Read one page, a few verses a day, with ta'ammul, with tadabbur. And when you read, think about your life, which one applies to you. That is how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was, kana khuluquhu al-Quran. I don't care, brothers and sisters, how you fast. I don't care how you explore Quran and how you take advantage of your time in this month, how many tarawih prayers you do, how many tahajjud prayers you do. But if I'm your colleague at work, and if I'm your neighbor, and if I'm your friend, if I'm your business partner, I do care of how you talk to me, how you handle me. How much can I trust you with my money, with my children? How happy I am for me to be your neighbor. And it doesn't have to be a Muslim neighbor. Wallahi, I can tell you, if you have a non-Muslim neighbor and you're on your way to come to Taraweeh, and that non-Muslim neighbor, it's 10 o'clock, just after 10 o'clock, you're about to go to Taraweeh, and they come out and say, excuse me, brother, excuse me, Mr. So-and-so, can I have your help? I need you to push my car, for example. There's something wrong with my car. There's something wrong with me. I feel unwell. You can tell me which one is a better deed. Leaving that desperate neighbor who needs your help and thinking, oh, he's non-Muslim. What am I going to get out of this? I'll go to Taraweeh prayers. It's better. Take that mentality out of your head. Wallahi, you will get more reward by helping your neighbor than coming to masjid to do Taraweeh prayers. There is more reward in helping others around you than doing your personal. Because ibadah is not just about your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your commitment to other people around you is more important and more loving to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than your commitment to just personal relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the converts or reverts who was a non-Muslim and embraced Islam, he says, and I quote, on your way to becoming a good Muslim, do not become a crappy human being. And I apologize for my language, but I just quote, the whole aim of Ramadan for you to become a better Muslim. And that's what we're aiming for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept us and to accept our deeds, and inshallah we get rewards. Even if you do a little bit, or even if you do more, doesn't matter. Depending on your time, your commitment, on your day-to-day living, your work, your other things. But on your way to becoming a good Muslim, remember, do not become a crappy human being. Hasha wa lillah, hasha wa lakum. In other words, whilst you try to improve yourself, improve your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not forget to improve your relationship with the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't come to work and you're tired and you're bad-tempered, or you're yawning only because you've been fasting or you've been doing tahajjud prayers. That's not my problem. My non-Muslims colleagues at work want to see me better than ever in Ramadan. More hardworking, more smiley, more cheerful, more loving, more passionate, more caring. Your commitment to Ramadan should not be on the compromise, on the account of your work and other commitments to your surroundings. If that makes sense. I don't want to see you, if I'm your manager and you're my employee, I don't want to see you grumpy because you're fasting. I don't want to see you yawning because you're fasting. No, that is not the right attitude. You can do what you want in your personal time, and you can do the way you like it to improve your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. More importantly, I want to see a better you working with me, a better neighbor, a better husband, a better wife, a better person as a whole. That is the whole aim of Ramadan. Otherwise, we've not understood anything about the aim of Ramadan, the aim of being Muslim. I'll finish this with one hadith that's been authentically narrated. At the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there was one lady, one woman, who was very pious. She was doing everything to perfection when it comes to her relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She would fast, she would do tarawih prayers, tahajjud prayers, she would recite Quran. And you would say, mashallah, she's very pious. And she was very well known in her community that she was a pious woman. Yet some Sahaba came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ complaining, then saying, Ya Rasulullah, do you know that lady, that woman who is well known for her piety? She's been abusive to her neighbors. She had a foul mouth, abusive in her language to her neighbors. And it doesn't specify which neighbors, Muslims, non-Muslims, doesn't matter. But she was abusive to her neighbors. Do you know what Rasulullah ﷺ said about her? Despite all what she was doing, how pious she was. لا خير فيها هي في النار والعياذ بالله. There's no goodness in her. For as long as she's like this with her neighbors, هي في النار. She's in hellfire. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to make us like that woman. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst the pious, righteous and good people, good Muslims inshallah, to benefit our families, our communities. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all your fasting, all your prayers. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our fasting and all our prayers to reflect in a better way on our personalities, to benefit our families, our neighbors, our communities and our country inshallah. أقول هذا القول وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.